Okay, let's jump right into it. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something that pretty much defines our online lives: narrative amplification. We're going to explore how a single message can go from basically zero to being absolutely everywhere you look, almost overnight. You know that feeling, right? You jump online and bam, it seems like everyone, from major news outlets to your uncle on Facebook, is talking about the exact same thing. It feels so organic. But what if it's not? What if that sudden information flood is actually by design? Well, a lot of the time it is the final step in a really deliberate process. It's called narrative amplification. And this isn't just about a post going viral. No, this is a strategy. It's about intentionally pushing a message to get the most eyeballs on it, and crucially, to make it feel legitimate. So, how does this actually work? Well, the best way to picture it is as a machine. A huge, well-oiled machine built for just one purpose: to make a message go viral. And like any machine, it's got key parts. We're going to look at two of them: the platforms it runs on and the people who operate it. All right, let's pop the hood on this thing. First up, the stage. Where does all this take place? The short answer is kinda everywhere. See, the real power here comes from blending old media and new media together to build a massive, inescapable echo chamber. It's how these two worlds work together that's so effective. On one hand, you've got your traditional broadcast channels, outlets like Fox News, Newsmax, and talk radio. And on the other, you have the digital giants: X, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, even places like Rumble. The strategy is to create a surround sound effect. So no matter where you turn, you're hearing that same narrative. Okay, so that covers the where. Now let's talk about the who. Because this is not random. It is a highly structured operation with a whole network of different players, and each one has a very specific job to do. Think of it like an information waterfall. It starts way up at the top with elite pundits who plant the seed of the narrative. Then it flows down to partisan influencers. Their job is to take that core idea and repackage it into something emotional and super shareable. Next, automated networks, we're talking bots, can jump in to artificially pump up the numbers and make it look way more popular than it actually is. And all of that leads to the final and most critical layer: everyday users, people like you and me. And just to make that top tier a little more concrete, the source material points to figures like Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Ben Shapiro, and Charlie Kirk as examples of these seeders. They're the ones who can give a new narrative its initial launch and that powerful stamp of credibility right from the start. So we have the platforms and we have the players, but what does their playbook look like? What are the actual tactics they're using? Because it's a lot more sophisticated than just yelling louder than everyone else. It's a specific set of plays designed to completely dominate the conversation. So here are a few of the key plays. You've got astroturfing. That's when you manufacture a fake grassroots movement to make an idea seem like it's bubbling up organically from the public. Then there's hashtag flooding. It is exactly what it sounds like: overwhelming a conversation to hijack it and control the narrative. And of course, you have these viral pipelines, which are basically content factories built to just churn out a constant stream of memes and videos. But out of all these plays, the simplest, and maybe the most powerful tactic of all, is just this: pure, relentless repetition. Seeing the same message again and again and again across all those different platforms. That does something to our brains. It's not just background noise. So why is something so simple so incredibly effective? Well, it turns out there's a psychological cheat code that this whole strategy relies on. It's a known phenomenon in our brains. It's called the illusory truth effect. See, our brains are wired for efficiency. You could even say they're a little bit lazy. They love to take mental shortcuts. And one of the biggest shortcuts they take is equating how familiar something feels with whether or not it's true. The more we hear something, the easier it is for our brain to process it. And here's the wild part. Our brain literally mistakes that feeling of easy processing for factual accuracy. It's a glitch in our wiring. The easier it is to recall, the truer it feels, completely separate from the actual facts. And this machine is built from the ground up to exploit that glitch. So we've looked at all these pieces: the platforms, the players, the psychological tricks, and it's easy to feel like this whole thing is something that just happens to us. But the machine has one last gear, and it is, without a doubt, the most essential part of all. So what is it? What is that final gear that makes the whole engine roar to life? It's you.
You are the entire system, the whole machine. It's all designed to lead to one single outcome, the actions of an everyday, regular person.
Think about it. The elites seed the idea. The influencers package it for us. The bots can make it look popular. But the message only gets its real power when we, regular people, choose to pass it on. Every like, every share, every comment, that's the fuel that makes the entire machine run. So after looking inside this whole amplification machine, what are we supposed to do with this information? The goal here isn't to make you cynical about everything you see, it's just about awareness. It's about understanding the system, so you can start to see the gears turning for yourself. Because once you can see the gears, you can ask the right question. The next time you see a story just explode out of nowhere, you can take a breath and ask yourself, am I watching a real conversation unfold right now, or am I just seeing the machine's finished product? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.